Check one, two. Check one, two. All right, all right, all right. Good evening. Oh, I'm going to turn that off. Okay. Well, this is my first time. I finally got desktop audio working. I haven't needed it yet because I pretty much always just am playing. But tonight I thought I'd do something a little bit different. Tuesday is my teaching day, online guitar lessons, and I've always at the end of lessons I've always got to come up with these lesson plans or like things that we talked about in creating tabs for students. And I just thought, well, I've got to be down here doing some of these things, and I always kind of learn things as I'm teaching, two as I'm trying to come up with the lesson plans or the additional tabs that I've got to write out because I usually learn that they're not as quick as I think that they might be. Here's a second. The one thing I didn't figure out with desktop audio is all the stuff that goes through my interface. I normally run all my guitars and mics and through a mixer, send a stereo mix to my interface, and it all comes through. It all comes through into OBS. But I also have a secondary mic for my interface up here that I run through the UAD console app. So I can have multiple sources, but only two sources from that console app go to OBS. And I recall seeing some sort of workaround for that. So I meant to go live like an hour ago, and I've been troubleshooting the desktop audio thing. So it's always, it's always something that's some sort of tech issue that comes up. But now it's working, and I'm sharing my desktop, and I am going to add a few exercises to this. Let's see, special paste. See if I can talk and remember what I'm trying to say. Yeah, we'll do this. Adding a few extra exercises that we went over in our lesson today. I'm gonna do. Yeah, let's see. And I'm just watching to see. Okay, see on the screen share, you see the screen, but you don't see the little pop-up thing, which is fine. It's just me adding titles to things. Middle and ring finger, hammer on, and pull off and hammer on together. So I've got a student together. That's not right, but that's all right. So I've got a student who's doing, we're working on hammer-ons and pull-offs. It's kind of a new thing for him, and so I'm coming up with all these different exercises. I've got multiple exercises for finger picking and things like that, but it's I didn't have as many kind of within the context of this chord progression that he really likes, or it's chord progression from a song called "Sing to the Mountain" by Elephant Revival, and he basically wanted a template. It's gonna probably play some sounds as I delete a few things here. A template to say, like, what if I play this song and how do I over time embellish it? You know, to do it differently than the original. And so I said, okay, well, let's just cycle this progression, these 4 chords, and find one. We're trying to create strumming patterns to create contrast. Instead of embellishing, meaning that it has to be fancy, it's just taking a guitar part and creating more contrast as opposed to complexity. So, one, just showing where you can find hammer-ons and pull-offs within the chords you're already playing. So we're not teaching additional notes on the fretboard. We're just taking the notes that we're already playing, which ones are available to us to pull off, assuming we're already playing a chord, and then to hammer back on, and finding, a lot of students have more ease in doing hammer-ons than they do pull-offs, because while hammer-ons, you just got to hit down hard enough and clean. The pull-off is a different kind of motion, that actually having to pull the finger to the side and get the string to ring out. So I'm coming up with multiple ways to just work one finger, work 2 fingers, work 3 fingers. And today we kind of went over using, 2 or 3 fingers together. So I'm going through this progression and basically just adding in. Let's see, and I believe I've got to hit the pull off. No, actually, I got to do it on the second note. No, not that one. So I can't select the 2 notes. There we go. Got those to link. Okay, well, this is where I am going to do the alternating pull off. It's doing the opposite that I thought. There we go. Let's get rid of this one here. So that's going to be a pull off. Then we're going to change this to the hammer on. So if we work up, he's already got exercises doing these hammer-ons and pull-offs with a single finger. So this will be the first time. And this is where I realize I'm going to change. Let's see. Because I got to play these 2. It's part of both in finger picking and for the idea of embellishing guitar parts, doing hammer-ons and pull-offs, is a lot of times we're going to pull something off just before we change a chord. So in this example, so if I do the hammer-on there, more or less on the 4E and it's right before we're supposed to switch to another chord. Let's be in tune when we do it, right? And this guitar is probably relatively quiet. I'm just using one mic here, and this guitar doesn't have a pickup in it yet. I love this guitar, though. I can't wait to get a pickup on it. Richard, how's it going? Caught me doing a little something different tonight. I'm doing, I don't know how long you've been in here, but Tuesday's my teaching day, where I've got a lot of online guitar students. And I always teach for an hour, but then sometimes, depending on what we've covered that day, I've got to come up with like the homework, and then I've got to go and tab things out to make it a little easier for them to practice to. And so I spend sometimes almost as much time putting together some new materials, especially if it's going over some stuff that I haven't done before, or I haven't taught before. So then I was like, oh, I don't really have any material to do this. And a lot of times these exercises are done in the context of a song that they already know or like. So I try to use that as a template, so it's not just a bunch of exercises. It's actually like, here, play that song that you love, and let's find ways to embellish it. But I have to tab it all out for them. But I always learn a lot in that process. So I just figured, well, try a different kind of stream here tonight and just do the work and talk about the work of the lesson, demonstrate some of the stuff, and you know, get to visit with people that pop in. So it's good to see you. I hope you are well. What's new? Finding some more music again, or visiting some of your you have like, we call it your stomping grounds, like out where I met you at Mio's. Let's see. And as I talk, I'm just gonna make sure I'm tracking with what I'm gonna do here. What I was saying before. If I have that hammer on there, the very next beat, you know, the next 16th note, they've got to get that their ring finger up to be the bass note of the C chord. So I think in this case, whether or not to actually reverse the order of these so that they go hammer on, pull off there so that their fingers are up. I mean, I'm not in full screen here, but so it doesn't really matter. But their fingers are up, so they're ready to play that C chord. I'm going to do that. I'm going to switch the order here. Because some of these we do for the sake of the exercise, not that I'm trying to tell him how to play this song. It's just taking a progression that he knows on a song that he likes and say, let's just hear all these different things that we could do with the notes that we're already playing. Saturday night I watched the stunning 8-streamer live gig organized by Les Johnson. He's so cool. I really dig his stream. From a hotel roof. Oh yeah, TwitchCon. Cool. So they had, okay, there I saw some other people posting that they were there and doing gigs, and that sounds like fun. Man, remember that? Going out and see live music? I like being able to do that now. It reminds me of, you know, life pre-2020. Now this one, I'm going to do it again with the hammer-on version. And these are all ways that he's played it before, but I'm changing. I'm adding an extra to do 2 fingers, sometimes 3 fingers. Let's go down to 0. Yeah, that's cool. You're getting another bird's eye view to watch what's going on at TwitchCon. I used to go, you know, just as a singer-songwriter. There were other conferences like that I used to go to, and it's so great to just like have so many people crammed into a conference center playing shows and getting to hear everybody, like people that you usually only hear a song or two. That's like in the gig world, but on Twitch, of course, you can hear more without leaving your home. Let's see. this one, I'm going to switch the order. That was hammer on, pull off, hammer on, pull off. Now I'm going to actually change this chord because we'll get rid of this one. Oh, I don't actually, well, that's, no, I don't actually want that one there. So I need to get rid of the hammer on, pull off. Couldn't make it to San Diego, but I definitely plan to next year. Have you been before? I couldn't remember. I don't remember how long you said you've been on Twitch finding music. Okay, so this one will be pull off, Buddha. And again, no, I have to go back to the beat before pull off. Or we'll get rid of that one. Let's get rid of the pull off first so it doesn't try to grab the next note. Some of this tabbing stuff is kind of tedious, and I haven't used this program for incredibly long time, so I'm sure there are people that are faster and shortcuts and stuff to do it. But in order to do this, we got to get rid of this note altogether because we're muting that because we need that finger. Never been to any of the cons. Have been on Twitch music. Okay, 1 year now. Yeah. Yeah, and I guess, what is it? October. I think it was June or April maybe. A little of last year that I started, and that's with me not doing it very strategically and not doing it on a regular schedule. So I'm learning a lot more about what goes on at TwitchCon and stuff. So I've got a lot to learn about those things. So it's cool to see that this platform, careers that are started in your own home and then going out to meet people live, which is kind of the opposite of what I'm doing. In that I toured for many years and now I'm in my home learning how to play music in other ways. I want to put the X there too because I want to make sure it's obvious that I'm muting that, not just trying to avoid it. I've heard people say that in the music area, the side shows around TwitchCon are often better than the con. You know, that's what it was. So in the performing songwriter world, outside of Twitch, live venues and such, it was called Folk Alliance, and it was exactly that. That's like the big conference for networking and record labels and booking agents and festivals and house concerts and concert presenters. And you'd apply for a showcase, and they'd have these big showcase rooms for the bigger named acts. And then they had at night. So when those were done, let's say those go from like 5 until 10 p.m. Then starting at 10 p.m. are the guerrilla showcases, not like more like guerrilla warfare, tactical, folk music warfare. The guerrilla showcases would start around 10 or 11 and go till about 3 in the morning. And they were literally, you'd take over a handful of floors. I mean, all the people that are staying there for the conference are on a handful of floors of this hotel. And every hotel room, like just picture your normal hotel room, They go in and none of those beds are bolted down. They all can be moved. They like either slide them into the corner or tip them up against the wall, bring in folding chairs, and in front of that, the curtain that goes in front of the window overlooking the city, they'll hang, Christmas lights, all this stuff. And then that will be the stage. And at any, throughout the night, there are showcases lined up for people from like 10 p.m. until 3 in the morning, usually about a 20 to 30 minute slot. And you're playing completely unplugged most of the time, because every room on the floor has music happening in it. And they have schedules printed, people make their plan on how to go around and see music. And when they do, I realize my camera's over here, and I'm kind of staring at my screen. People kind of like all of a sudden filter into a room and just fill up every available spot. A lot of times the bathtub in the bathroom is full of ice and beverages. They'll have snacks, all this stuff. It's like you're in like a tiny little coffee house. And then when you're done seeing the person you want to see, you might want to see the next person in the next room, or you'll hear music coming out of the next room that you've never even heard of, and it just sucks you in. So you go into the next hotel room. It is such a trip. I'll never see a hotel in the same way again after seeing Folk Alliance. And I imagine a lot of these things are happening at TwitchCon too. Guerrilla, I think of Che Guevara, and I don't know, that may not be accurate, but yeah. I don't know if that's the Spanish for gorilla, the actual gorilla. I don't know, but that's what they call them, the showcases. I did not take Spanish in high school. I took French, and I don't know the French word for gorilla either. Didn't come up in many of the, stories about, like, on y va à la plage. Wow, that's pulling up things from long ago. The New Zealand's sci-fi conventions and party floors. Oh yeah, I'm sure like all these conferences they all have that thing. And that was like the only outlet that I had to go witness something like that. Okay, cool. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to let's see, I'm going to take the simpler version of this. All these lessons that I do, well, not all of them, but this one in particular, he's like, I want to play this song, but I want to find ways to embellish it, to fill in. He said kind of like take a lead break. But we're not covering scales and how to do solos. We're trying to be, as a solo singer-songwriter, when you don't have another instrument or another player to play a solo, and you're not going to all of a sudden stop playing your chords and play a solo without, it's not like that you have to like loop or something to do that. We're trying to create contrast by creating multiple different ways to create contrast in your guitar part to create more interest. There's dynamics, like quieter versus softer. There's tonal contrast, darker versus brighter, which in one way to talk about that is like muting strings versus unmuted strings. There's a volume difference dynamic thing there too, but creating some muted, some unmuted. So there's like dark and more shimmery parts. There's kind of like this, low strings versus high strings when you strum low strings, when you strum high. Then there's motion, adding a rhythmic element and a somewhat melodic element in between the strums. And now we started to talk about chord inversions. Let's see. I can copy and use. I'll copy and use a lot of this, but I'll have to adapt it. And I'll change the title. Chord inversions. And, well, let's say and or slash chords. Because I'm kind of, some of this I'm teaching terminology. Spanish guerra, like it's for war, yeah. Gorilla is a diminutive form, not related to the ape. Yeah. I forgot, I guess now that you say it, I knew that that the root was war. So it's like warrior or soldier or something. But yeah, again, didn't take Spanish. That was an ignorant. It was more of a joke than an assumption that it actually meant gorilla, but you know, sounds like it. Here in Colorado, it's funny. Here in Colorado, the color red, Spanish name, Spanish words. There, for every town in Colorado that is a Spanish word or rooted in a Spanish word, we pronounce them all incorrectly. There's a town called Salida. In Spanish, it would be Salida. And there's many others. Buena Vista instead of Buena Vista. I don't know why that is. Colorado. Well, Colorado. Yeah, we're not going to roll our R's, but anyway, it's kind of a weird thing here in Colorado. Okay, so what am I doing here? Okay, okay, here's where I'm going to start creating a like walking bass line. We're going to get rid of all the hammer-ons and pull-offs, which I should get rid of before I delete the notes, otherwise they try to grab the next note and they move them around. I wonder if I can highlight. No, I didn't want to do that. I'm going to see if I can get rid of multiple hammer-ons and pull-offs in one. Yes. Okay, let's do that. So, I know, Richard, so I know very, very little about guitar in that score there. When you paired eighth notes, chord only has 4 notes. When you paired, can you see the bar numbers? Which one are you referring to? Like the bar numbers are up here, this little thing. I don't know if it's big enough to see, but if you, let me see what you're referring to. Anyone that has a number on it is one that you're strumming. And the 6 lines, instead of like a music staff has 5 lines. The 6 lines, this is tablature. So each line is a string, starting with your high all the way down to your low. And the number is referring to the fret that you play. So in this case, finger on the 3rd fret on the 5th string, then the 2nd fret on the 4th string, open string on the 3rd, 1st fret of the 2nd, and open string on the 1st. So that's what that is. But I don't know if there's the paired eighth notes. I think that's what you're referring to. It's just trying to alternate like bass note and then the rest of the chord. And this is just kind of as an exercise. First part, single no note for, yes. So that's what it is. It's trying to create, instead of that, you know, on guitar, just because we're strumming doesn't mean we have to strum all the notes of the chord. So it's kind of teaching this, part of this exercise, in addition to teaching hammer-ons and pull-offs, is right hand technique to separate your chords. In this case, we could say it's just that open string. So it sounds like this without all the hammer-ons and pull-offs. Trying to separate what you're playing instead of going. So again, this is another way of creating contrast. Instead of saying, well, it's an A minor, well, what's the rhythm of it? What strings am I hitting? And this is just one example of a way to break up a chord progression. Even that A minor, I could, and with my fingers I'm using my thumb for the bass note and my fingers for the rest of the chord. Here, once I get this bass line down, I can show you even more how, as the chord changes, how I'm creating, just using other notes that are available to this chord. So now you can see I'm going. Oh, I've got to delete those extra beats because it still thinks I'm going to add something in there. Oh, I don't want to join those two though. Oh, it thinks that's the 16th note. There we go. And then delete that one. Again, I haven't used this program long enough to have all these shortcuts in my memory. How do you locate the strum? You mean like with your right hand, how do you just hit those strings without hitting the other ones? Therein lies the deeper lesson of right hand. I like to say that when we learn guitar, when we're first learning guitar, we're really focused on our left hand, like how to play chords, how to get our fingers in the right place to play these chords. I realize, again, my little image up there is not showing the entire guitar. But we put a lot of attention on getting our fingers in the right place. And that's why, and even when it's scales, like where to play the notes for scales. So I say our left hand, if you're assuming you're a right-hand guitar player, our left hand is what we know, meaning these are like, I've been told I need to put my fingers here, this is how this works. But our right hand is who we are. It's like that's where the personality comes from. It's where most of the tone control, fingers, pick, muted, unmuted, all these other things, and then within the chord progression, how we separate, how we strum it. That I'm able to kind of create anything, or create something that's different from just, instead of hitting an A minor chord 4 times, I can break it up. So I'm going to create this just 4 bars to show. This is technically just creating an alternating bass line, because within an A minor chord we have an A, an E, A, C, and I'm assuming, do you see my mouse on the shared screen? Maybe you don't. Doesn't look like, from what I can tell, doesn't look like you actually see my mouse. Can you? Yeah, I can't see it. I thought the sharing screen would show, but I guess it's sharing the window. Maybe I have to do a display capture instead. Will a 4-note chord pretty much always be strummed starting on the D string, so you get the 4 highest string? No, not exactly. So an A minor is just built on the top 5 strings. And this is where a different camera angle. This is the first time I've done a lesson type format like this, so I made the window small to fit on the side. An A minor chord only uses the higher 5 strings. typically because it's played in root position where the lowest note, or this open A string, is the root of the A minor chord. But then there are chords that are built off the low string, which is strumming all 6 strings. So there I might go just the lowest string and strum the highest 5. And then the A minor is the A string and the highest 4 that are remaining strings. And if I go to a D chord on the next open string, I might play the bass note on the 4th string and strum the highest 3 strings. No mouse cursor. Okay. I did a window capture, which is just the program I'm using. Next time I might have to do a display capture so it sees the whole screen and shows the mouse. I'm just gonna try that once. Thank you, Richard, for letting me know that. If I go Mac screen, oh, that's Mac OS screen capture. That's in beta version. Is it going to work? Let me just see if it gives me the option. Oh, there's my. That's okay. That shows cursor. So can I just choose? Okay, this goes back to. Oh, I realize it makes that window go away for a second. I'll find it here. Is it going to let me choose it? That one is not. Application capture. Ooh, this could be it. Guitar Pro 7. There's my mouse. Let's try that. Why isn't it showing? I see my mouse, but I don't see the program now, even though I selected it. I'll just take like a minute to see if this works, and if it doesn't, then I'll bail on it. Okay, I was going to try the one other way. I was thinking I could do this. And we'll see if I can size it to work. Okay, there's my whole desktop, but it's got a lot of things going on in it. So let's see if I can Oh, I think this is going to work. Then I'll get rid of the other one. Let's get rid of that. Let's go like that. And there's the mouse. I got it. It's not like centered, but Richard, you want a cursor? I am here to give it to you. All right. Learn as we go, right? Second. Here we go. Oh, of course, it's just going to snap around. But that is better. Okay. Learned something new. Okay, yeah, so I was going to go. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, we'll just do alternating bass first because this requires, what I love about teaching exercises like this is that it requires us to like learn one small skill, and then you're like, hey, I've got it. I figured I'm comfortable with it now. And then I'm like, okay, now we're going to change one small, thing about what you're doing. Just one incremental changes. And the act of doing that is what we just keep trying to beat in the whole idea of muscle memory and trick our fingers to like get comfortable, develop some sort of memory of what we're asking them to do, and then change it. So that they never get too comfortable, because once they do, then every time you pick up the guitar, they just tend to do that same thing again. And this one we'll just go boom, boom. Let's see, let's go up here. I'm just gonna now, I'll just, since we're not playing those strings. So like that, Richard, like this one's a little different where, just in for the sake of this example, is now it's skipping, it's going, because a lot of times your ring finger is resting against the A string, so it's muting it, and I'm just saying to strum the higher 4 strings. And none of this is like an exact science. It's just trying to create, going back to what I was saying about your right hand is who you are as a player. It's like how you play that chord, you can totally create a lot of variety and contrast in it by how you let your right hand execute what you want to play. Let's see. So now we're not doing the hammer-ons and pull-offs for the sake of this exercise, because I try not to have them learn how to do like multiple things at the same time, or multiple new things. See, what's the shortcut for this? Okay, function. Let's just try this, because this is muscle memory too. Learning shortcuts and programs. You have to like learn one shortcut at a time. And okay, and that's plus or minus. This is now I just said this, and I'm going to try 2 shortcuts at the same time. So let's minus, and then command minus. Okay, there, using the same key. Utterly astonished me to see what sorts of muscle memories in fingers can be accomplished. To piano, well, yeah, and I don't know that piece, but I'd imagine maybe that it's a fast piece, just But we all do it. It's like, if you're, whether it's how we text on the phone, how you use a keyboard, computer keyboard. It's like I remember whatever it was, high school or junior high, when you'd learn how to type words that only used 4 letters, and they'd have entire sentences that only use those 4 letters, and you practice that because you're just like, where is it, and then they introduce one new letter, and maybe it's a new finger, and over time you don't think about it anymore. So we've all got muscle memory things that we do, but yeah, it's like when you get into music or piano, guitar, and speed. And sometimes it's not even about speed. That muscle memory is most powerful when it's speed, because I can only speak for guitar, but like on guitar, there's so much beyond the notes that, again, it's like to me, like the right hand, the who you are, how you execute the notes. It's not about the right notes all the time. It's like the feel is all in the right hand, and that muscle memory. I don't know if it's I don't know which one's the first to go, like when you're not practiced. But I know, I'm a singer as well, but I know a lot of people, other singers, who say like if they haven't sung in a while, they just feel like they don't have no control over their vocal cords. Again, muscle memory. I don't get that as much, but like I haven't noticed a huge dip like throughout COVID of not doing many shows. I didn't feel like I didn't lose my range. I didn't lose my breath support. But I guess it's some of the subtle things that when you're singing night after night and you're just warmed up, there's something to it, and I think it's the fluidity and the effortlessness is one of the first things to go when you're not well rehearsed. like you remember where the notes are, but the being in the moment and being subtle with it is the thing that can slip away from you. And you gotta have to remind, it's not even about like read through your list of 10 subtle things that you should be doing musically. It's like, no, you just gotta do it and you get back to that place that you were before. Do a YouTube search for Pogo Relic plays Ravel. Okay, sometime with one with the score. Oh, you can watch the score as it goes by. Okay, here, I'm gonna go over here and copy that title because I will never remember that. Actually, here, let's do this. We're chatting, Richard. This is gonna be a test because I just figured out how to set up my desktop audio for the first time today. Oh, but can I play this without getting some sort of copyright strike? I don't know. I hope I'll just see if I can play this. Oh, I'd have to set up another shared screen to do it. If you don't mind, I'm just gonna see if I can do that. Let's see, YouTube. Although, oh wait, I don't have to do it. Set up a new source because I can just have it on this screen, right? Yeah, there it is. Okay. Does it move around? Oh yeah. Okay, I don't know which one has the score. It looks like there's a bunch of different. Oh, maybe it's this one. It says play all. Let's see. The score is right there. Duh. Just gotta see. I'm gonna see how the volume comes through. Let me know if you hear it. Oh, it's public domain. Boom. First one at the top. Okay. I'm gonna probably have to turn up desktop audio. There we go. Tell me if you can hear that okay. I'm having to adjust it. Because I can't reference on headphones like I typically do how the stream's coming through, because I'm going to hear this audio plus the broadcast. Seems pretty quiet. That's my speakers. And so when you look at that, I'm assuming everything on top is his right hand. These little cluster chords. And left hand is doing this sparse thing. Is it going to scroll to the next page? Oh yeah, there we go. It's starting to look a little crazy. Left hand's getting busier. Oh, this is a 23-minute piece. Yeah, okay, you hear it, okay. It's just dizzy just looking at the score. Richard, overall, I know that typically I'm like right on a mic and the guitar is plugged in and it's louder. Are you finding you have to turn your monitors up or headphones or whatever just to hear this broadcast since I'm not right on a mic? Top is right hand, third movement is the really crazy, unplayable one. So, like the player, Pogo Relic, sure that's not exactly how they say it, but having a player that can play something, and obviously Ravel must have had a way to play all this too. It's these. Let's see, I can't see what section is what, but I'll have to jump around a little bit. I'm going to skip ahead to this. I can see that it's louder here. see where the... I'll have to do this. Oh, I see. 3. Mio, what's up? Mio, I'm just here hanging with Richard. I'm doing something a little different tonight. Typically I'm playing music, but tonight, Tuesday's my teaching day, where I teach online guitar lessons. And I need to put together some tabs for some lessons. And so I was working on that, and then we started talking about notation. Richard and I were talking about notation, and muscle memory, and he told me that I should look up this song. So I'm just listening to this. How was your stream? Were you just finishing up? You normally go on around this time, don't you? And what is that? There's a lot of black dots in there. It's a sight reading challenge. Richard wants me to play this on guitar. Sight reading is something I never really worked on in earnest. Not with that many lines and notes, for sure. In college, I gave it a shot and was like, yeah, I'd rather learn by ear. And maybe I can't do that, but that's all right. Yeah, finished up. Oh, you finished a little while ago. Okay, cool. How'd it go? So I'm looking at your words over there. My camera's over there. There's notations here. How many hours? Yes, Richard, I see. I am as well. Actually, let's do this, because also whenever I'm playing, am I in the right thing? I'm usually... Where's my shout out? Oops, I missed a letter. Sorry. Let's try that again. I'm usually playing, and I don't have mods, so I'm always figuring out, or being able to do shout outs. Let me see if it works now. Why is my shout out command not working? Yeah, I mean, I can follow a chart, a chord chart, well, as long as it doesn't have too many jazz chords. And even that skill is something that's more in the last couple of years, because I've been having to chart a lot more things for some of the projects that I do. But I'm not like a lead. I don't do. I've said this for years. So this is muscle memory. Let's go back to muscle memory. My muscle memory tells me to always say I am not a lead guitar player. Part of what I do on my stream when I'm playing is that I am stretching out and doing more lead or jam type stuff that I don't do in my normal singer-songwriter shows, or haven't, only now starting to incorporate them because I just never. I just realized, yeah, that piano is so loud. I don't even know if you can hear me talking, but. So I'm so inexperienced with shout-outs. I don't know why my shout-out command didn't work. It is supposed to be. This is great. I'm having to ask for help from the person I'm trying to shout out. It is just supposed to be. I know I set it up once, but it's that exclamation point SO, and then the channel name, correct? Isn't that the way it's supposed to be? Super loud. Yeah, that's what I realized. I was like, I turned it up to listen to it, and then kept talking, and I was like, oh, you probably can't even hear me talk now. Anyway, so here, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go back to the other lesson. I'm going to have to listen to that like on headphones someday, listen the whole way through. But Richard, thank you for telling me about it. Oh, I don't need. Okay, I'm going to try it again. Because I need to, all these skills I need to learn, not having a mod. Uh, now did I spell it wrong? Okay, I'm going to make a note. I need to fix my shout out. I know it's, thankfully, the tech stuff that goes awry every now and then, well, more than every now and then. Uh, um, like tonight, I came down here to work on this and set up the stream with this notation thing. And then I spent an hour realizing I've never set up desktop audio because I play everything through a mixer and then line that in through my interface, and that's all my audio. I don't play things like YouTube or play audio that might be in another program until tonight. So I spent an hour just trying to get that working on the Mac and getting the Black Hole audio plug-in to work. And but I also was watching another YouTube video about how to improve your stream, and they just said, once you're up and running, just every time you stream, try to improve it 1%. It's like, don't try to fix everything, because then you'll never get online. So I was like, okay, fix one thing, go online. Make a note of what you can improve. Obviously now I see I need to figure out why my shout outs aren't working. So I'm gonna make that note. I owe you one, Mio. I owe you a proper shout out. Missing, yeah. Yeah, so I will, shout outs. Oops, they'll go away. Okay, I'll figure that out. So, let's see, where were we? Let's see. Okay, so this thing that I'm doing here is Mio is just an exercise for a student that working on hammer-ons and pull-offs, and I wish I could put a double bar at the beginning. I just want to separate these exercises. Well, I'll just do each one of these will be their own exercise. There are lots of small streams I follow where I witness the improvement each time. It's so wonderful. I'm a founder on 4 of them. So you, meaning you have, Richard, you mentioned that before. So you have 4 different channels that you share stuff on, or that you moderate. What does that mean to be a founder of them? Or is it, that you are on the stream? Oh, one of the first 10 subscribers. Oh, cool. That's cool. Like you found them early. And, when I first started too, I'd be like, well, how did you, find me? And they said, well, they actually go to the category of like the least or the lowest viewer counts. And they would search those people to find something new. And I was like, that is so cool. Like, I wonder how many people do that. Let's see, adding these. I didn't know there was a term for that, being a founder. You just have to find. Oh, Richard, thank you for subbing. Right now, we could call you a founder as well. I had been doing more streams before the summer. I took most of the summer off, and any subs that I had then are gone now, and so you are sub number one. Test again. What's that? This tab. Oh yeah, Mio. This thing it's Guitar Pro. I think it's like a $50 program. I'm not sure what that is in Australian currency, um, but it's not that expensive. Maybe it's a little more than that. I do online teaching for a subscriber based service called Jamplay.com. They're actually based here in Colorado, but they have like worldwide subscribers, and I get this program through them. And it's not that expensive, but it's been so handy for, in addition to the stuff that I do for Jamplay, just individual guitar lessons, the things that you can do on here relatively quickly. Speaking of which, let's see. See, since I'm not playing the whole chord on the downbeat, can do that. And I'm just labeling some of these things because teaching this student slash chords or inversions, depending on what the chord is. So I want to show him what some of these look like, just saying that it's an A minor chord with an E in the bass now. And this one, we got, see, oh, okay. I suppose it shows, it knows that there were other subscribers before. Okay. So let's see. Oh, what did I miss? You did some more things. Okay, you subscribe, test. Oh, that's showing your new badge, your star. Test again. You already had at least 10 subscribers. Okay, I see. Okay, yeah, I did. I guess I don't remember what the count was, but okay, I am not a founder here. If I were, I would have a first badge. Oh, that's what that is. Okay. Been making a bunch of chord charts lately and doing the tab the old school way. Did you just have like printed blank sheets of tabs? Mio? Is that what you're using? Or you have like some sort of graphic on your computer and you write it on there? Well, thank you again so much, Richard. I'd so greatly appreciate it. I'm gonna look you in the eye, assuming my camera's lined up correctly. Thank you. But yeah, this is Guitar Pro. I think it's version 7 now. Oops. And it's pretty slick. Oh, I just realized I want to just take a look, make sure I'm not missing anything coming from YouTube. No. Oh, back here. Nope, not that one. So I'm based in Colorado, Minnesota, or not Minnesota. I'm from Minnesota, Colorado, USA. Melbourne. I have not been to Melbourne. Let's see. This is what I was doing. Let's see. Just so I can demonstrate what these chords are called. The hope is, as I create some of these exercises for one student. Oh, here not see. Sometimes the default fingering is not the way I'm playing it, so you got to change that. But it's really cool that you have the option to do that. Yeah, that's right. And I want him to know. Oh, so the idea is like as I make these exercises for one student, that I can go back and use it for another. Now I can be like, oh, let's teach slash chords to somebody else, and that's gonna be middle finger. And we'll just repeat this one. So this is, and then you can, of course, copy and paste all that stuff. So depending on how long. No, you're not interrupting it. It's great. I know that I could get this work done faster, not streaming, but I wanted to try it in a new format, and I'm so glad that the two of you are here. That's part of why I, do my streams primarily as practice, because one, I need to do. When else am I going to do that? When else am I going to practice? I've practiced more since starting streaming on Twitch in the last year or year plus, few months plus, than I had in 10, 15 years. A lot of that was because I was touring and playing a lot. So I was playing guitar all the time, but I wasn't sitting down to work on anything new. I wasn't working on how to become better at something or to do something different than I already kind of did instinctually with my own music. The only time I would play guitar at home was if I was working on a new song. I wasn't just like exploring new ideas very often. So now that my entire stream is dedicated to exploring new ideas and not just doing what I know, like building new muscle memory, or basically playing the kind of music that is not part of my singer-songwriter catalog, and to be able to have conversations with people, musicians and non-musicians alike. It's the stuff that I miss the most from being on the road. I realize this mic isn't even on. I don't even need that right there. So I'm here enjoying being distracted from the work I'm doing because I get fed both ways. Oh, what's this? What did I... Subscriber told me before, even though I'm in the USA like you, the very best teacher I ever had before college was my Latin teacher in high school. She was from Melbourne. She was remarkably wacky, but also great at imparting a love for the subject. That's cool. Great teachers make all the difference. Like, we've all had the ones that are like smarter than anyone we know, and they cannot teach or make what they know inspiring at all. Inspiring is mutually important, if not more so, to the content. Otherwise, if there's no curiosity and no excitement about it, nobody's going to get into it, or they're going to do the bare minimum rote memorization of something, if that's possible with some subjects. And then it'll be lost as soon as they're done with that class. They'll forget it all because they're not inspired to keep it up. All good, Mio. Have something delicious for me. I only came in here with water. Okay. So, let's see. Maybe I can get him to do that. Say, create more movement. Okay, maybe this will be lesson 2. I'm going to copy and paste this, and I'm going to change it up to elaborate on this part. Boom, 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 boom. We're going to get rid of the notes we don't need. Now we're getting rid of those extra chords. Boom. Boom, boom. Oh, actually what I'm going to, here, I can do this. To be more accurate, so we want these notes to ring. So I will just, no, but I don't want to hold to that one. I want it to hold from this one. Ah, that's not, I want it to go all the way across. This is where this program, I've got more to learn. No, because I don't want to connect those. I want it to ring all the way. Maybe I can mark these as ghost notes to show that they're still ringing. It's not, some of this notation is not the proper way to do it, but I want to make sure he doesn't think that you have to pick those fingers up. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Do, do, do. Yeah, I could just turn all, well, maybe this one will connect. No, because it's connecting to the, if I get rid of this, will it connect across? No. Well, I'd have to get rid of that beat. Okay. For the sake of time, I'm going to just use shortcut. Let's do this shortcut again. Yeah. There we go. See? Shortcuts. We'll see if I remember that next time. I've got it on both, but we'll just leave it like that. And these, now that I learned the shortcut. So I might as well make these be the same. Actually, that last one, we're lifting fingers off at that point. So I think to be more accurate, I need to get rid of the last one. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, I like these shortcuts. I'm learning new shortcuts as we speak. So. All right. That'll be nice. boom, boom, boom. Make that a repeatable lesson. I'll title these later. I was gonna say, oh, I know Mio's getting some food. This program, again, I said it's not very expensive. I should do another example of of another program that I use that I can get a discount on. It's called Master Writer, and it's a program for songwriters. So it's a place to keep all your lyrics, make audio recordings, keep them with your lyrics, a rhyming dictionary, rhymed phrases, even just like phrases that include a specific word if you're looking for fodder for things that you can say. Really powerful, cool program, all online based, so you don't even have to download anything. But that'll be for another time. So I realize another thing that's not working is my timers. Not that I want to subject the two of you to automated messages, but to make sure that they're working. Let me look at one thing here. I'm going to go like this. Take that off the screen. I have 3 monitors here. And this one up top is the one that's going to give me a crick in my neck. It's not an ideal placement, but I have too much gear all over my table. Okay. Actually, let's see if it's here. Let's see if this is set up. I think maybe this, I've got to redo this. Okay, it's already moderated, so why is it not? I don't know. Okay, so there we've got our walking bass line. Now, okay, we have, let's title these. We're just going to do it, call it slash chords. So, and technically what I'm going to change this because with the alternating bass, we want to already be, this is where I don't need to do 2 of them. We already want to be on this C over G. We don't want to play a C and then have to move and then move back. We just want to be in this position, and we're just choosing this is what? A, that's what it is. Just delete that one. This one I'll show just because it's just indicating our fingers are already, oh, so this one I want to change so that we've got, it's going to be 3rd. No, don't change the fingering. That's ring. Did it again. That's middle. Oh, jeez. If I left click it, it resets the whole thing. I have to remember to right click. Middle. Pinky. Okay, so you get your fingers in the right place, then you're all set up. This one you don't even have to change anything, but I'll leave that on there just to indicate what it's called. Now we're just going to, this will be the walking bass. And now so we'll just call this chord inversions, because we'll get to slash chords where you're not just using chord or using notes that are in the triad already. So, common ones. We've got the C over G, which we are already. And the great thing about this now, I can just go C over G, boom, it puts the tab in there for me. Let's do it as a quarter note, not because we're going to play it that way, but just to demonstrate. And I might even just be able to go F over C. Can I do that? And will it pull up the chord? No, it doesn't. No. Okay, I was like, wonder if it would pull up a voicing of it. Do, 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 do. Oops. We won't get into other voicings yet. Let's do G over B. This whole progression won't necessarily all be in the same key because I just wanted to demonstrate different chord inversions to practice. Might make an interesting chord progression just to use them all. And don't want to use the pinky here. And that'll get stretched out when I get to the next bar, I think. Actually, I'll have to do this. See whether or not to group them together. I'm going to group in a way that you can actually play them. Let's do C over E. Now I'm listening to the bass line move. get into that yet. Richard, thank you. Thanks again for the sub, and thanks for chatting here. I know some of this is not all that exciting, just as I pound my way through this exercise, but it's great chatting with you, and thank you for sharing that piece. I'm going to listen to that Ravel piece on headphones. It might not be the right piece to listen to before bed. It might be too many notes, but I'm going to listen to it. So, and with the filter of what muscle memory, how powerful muscle memory is, and all the intention and skill that went leading up to that. So I'm going to be inspired to hear something new that I haven't heard before. So thank you for sharing that with me. Have a great night, and we'll catch you on the flip side sometime. Let's see. We'll get to the walking, like more moving bass line. That's where it's a slash chord as opposed to an inversion. So let's just look at. I could just cycle through each one of those, show all the inversions. So I think contextually that'll make more sense. Yeah, let's do that. Why does that say 4th fret? Oh, because I didn't know I was up on that other beat. That's why it said 4th fret. I want to be here. Reading classic. The middle movement is easy but quite eerie. All right. Good night. Okay. I'm psyched. I'm psyched. Gonna listen to it. If I put it on now, I won't be able to focus. Okay, so now let's change this. Just gonna start this over. Because now I can just go here. Let's do first inversion. And second inversion. And I can label them as such. So why don't I make this, well, I can skip the 4th beat, that's fine. Boom, 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 boom. Second inversion is, well, no, that's not true. Depends on the chord voicing, which one's more common to use on guitar at least. So I'll just do them all. Root position. No, this one will probably be new first. And second inversion. I'll just put it in the title to say root, first inversion, Root position is not an inversion, but I'm going to write it all out since we haven't. First inversion. See if that fits across the whole thing. Yes. Move that. I like how I can tuck this things away now. Let's do the next one. So I can make this as comprehensive as possible. Since I'm spending more time on this than I would for just a simple 1 hour guitar lesson, that way I can use this at a later date. Okay. You know, sometimes these inversions are just happening in the way that we strum a chord. Like sometimes we don't strum all the notes. Skip that all that's all cluttered, but I'll spread it out after a while. And some of these inversions end up having multiple names. Let's do D. Root position. And that's not the fingers we would use. That is index. It's funny. I have to like put my fingers out to see, like, wait, which ones? Boom, boom, boom. And this one probably is going to be the pinky. And there we just have. Yeah, I wish I could change the default on saying which fingering most likely use. Well, that doesn't always work that way. So what I'm probably gonna, that spreads them out enough. I can get 4 chords on each thing. Go to the next bar. How many of these to do? Let's do A. And I use second, third, fourth. May not have that high E in there, but that's all right. That's going to all be a bar. Just to avoid confusion, I'm going to get rid of that high open E at this point. Just to make it a little easier to learn the new chord and not be overly frustrated. Teach the easiest way to execute it, and chances are when you do the inversion, we're really listening for those what's happening in that lower register anyway. It's not whether or not you've got that whole thing. But that's just me. Theory junkies could tell me I'm totally wrong. Okay, so we've got C, we've got G, F, we've got G, E, A. Yeah, there's other inversions, but ones that are harder to play, we don't need to get to yet. That's not going to be a common one, so we'll skip that. I think we'll just do those. What happens if I add it up here? Yeah, you could still read them all. Okay, so we have C over E. Okay, I think that's enough for now. Let's delete this bar. Stretch that out. And that is going to be enough for this lesson. This is almost like the start of a new lesson because we're not even doing hammer-ons. Pull off. Whether or not, let's just focus on the walking bass line and not. Wish I could know how to link these two notes. Now it calls it legato, but I want it to, maybe I'll just put let ring. Because when you play this, let's just see. Because, yeah, I don't want it to articulate it again. So if I say let ring, will it do it? Yeah, the ghost note is not an accurate way to describe that. I just wanted to show that he doesn't have to stop playing it. So, let's say let ring. Let's just see what that does. Whoops. Oh, I see. There's a rest. So do it and... Oh, we'll just play it twice. Boo boo ba ba ba. Okay, I think that works. Okay, so I'm going to save that. It's no longer really about this Sing to the Mountain song, it's just taking that progression. So I should. It's still to this. For now, I'll leave it this because I can copy and paste things that are in this exercise to its own page when I want to call it something else. Okay, we'll put this in here. Version 2. Okay. Well, this is where okay, so I need to look up why my shout outs aren't working. Let's do this first. Remove that. Okay, so I just finished this guitar lesson for a student. I'm just going to send it off. And then, let's see, hopefully thrill him with a whole bunch of new things to work on. New exercises. Oh my gosh. Spelling exercises. That was a challenge at this hour. All right. And just file management on having multiple guitar students and what you've worked on with each student, what you've sent them. I've kind of got a way of managing it now, but it took a while to get that figured out. And then when you're like want to share a lesson that you did for somebody else, if I have to retitle it, it doesn't have his name on it, but yeah, it's been a lot of curriculum, coming up with a lot of content for these lessons, and many times when I've done it for like jamplay.com, those lessons that I've done, it becomes stuff that I use in lessons all the time. So that's my goal with all these. Why I'm spending more time working on, individual students' tabs and things to work on, because I think they're all important things that I can be teaching to any number of students. Which, if anyone's interested in doing lessons, I am available for them. You can reach me through my website, justinroth.com. And just as a test, I'm going to see if I even allow myself to post a link. This is where, since I realized my shout out command was not working, see if I just type this in. We'll see if that link posts for more info. So this is me doing it, my own little experiment. Yes, it does post. Okay. Okay. I don't know if other people can post links, but excuse me. Here you go. Sorry, I don't want to just recite my message here, but I'm just going to type just a sentence or two. Very good. It's in audio files. Okay. Lesson done an hour and a half later. Do get paid by the hour for the lesson, but the work I put into these kind of things comes back when I get to use them. If I change the size of this just a little bit, I might be able to get all 4 of the actual hammer-on pull-off lessons, exercises on one page. Let's just see if that did it. Yes. And then this could be its own title page with bass notes and chord inversions, walking bass line. Okay, that's a much better layout. So I'll just save that again. Okay. Well, I think that's all I need to do today. As long as it doesn't, that tab doesn't show. I'm going to check one thing, because this program shows if you have incorrect amount of beats per measure, it'll highlight it in red, and technically I do because this tab is in 4/4, but I only wanted to give 3 examples on each thing, so I just skipped a beat and it doesn't show it. I just want to make sure that when I sent, well, here, I'll just open it in the email I sent. When I send it to the student and exported the PDF, that it doesn't show it in red. Nope, it's all good. Okay, and actually while I'm here, what I should figure out is why. I'll do this in a different window. Wow, my Streamlabs timers are not working. Clear your cache. Okay, let's try that. Let's just try that. Let's just try that. Oh, I'd have to clear the cookies. See the browser cache. Come on, give me the simple. That means all. Okay, we'll just do that. Oh, and it's all in there. Okay, let's do that. I hope it doesn't screw anything up, the fact that I'm online. Oh, I'll probably have to restart the browser. Well, but I'm broadcasting from OBS, so it's fine. Should be able to do that. Okay, so let's toggle. Let's go up here. Oh, it's probably going to make me log back in. It's all right. Let's put this screen back. There we are. We're going to do everything. Okay, let's open it back up, see if that works. Okay, timers. I'm off and on. Of course, I'm not going to see if it's working now tonight because I'm almost done. But I'm going to do what they said to try. And we shall see. We shall see if that works. But it wouldn't be the first time that something didn't work the first time I tried to fix it. I'm going to look at one other possible solution here. Yes, the bot is turned on. Yes, Streamlabs is in there. Oh yeah, let's check. I'll check that one other setting. One other place. No, Streamlabs is not showing. That's why. Okay, well it says problem solving is not so much fun, but that's okay. I'll do it anyway. So if I put this into the chat, close that. Go away. Go away. So interesting. It says, yeah, Streamlabs is already a moderator, but it's not showing. So the solution. Let's see. So I'm reading, and I know it's boring to sit and watch me stare at something, but it's what I'm reading is not that interesting either. Unmod. Oh, maybe I can unmod it. Let's try that. And this does not make for an interesting stream, but since I'm just doing it so I can test it while I'm here. Okay. Remove. Now let's try to add it again. So you're going to not let me do it? to move all my timers. Okay, I see. Toggles, yeah, they're on. What is my commands? I'm going to try some commands, see if it's working. Nope. Those are all on. Oh, but that's not a regular command. That's like a reward command. Let's try. No, it's not triggering. Bummer. Just gonna see if any of them. Nope. And the last one. Okay, none of them working. So do I have? Let's check this one. Oh, but let's turn that one on. Let's test from Stream Elements. That should do it from the other one. But it's not. Okay, well, problem for another day. Or that's actually not. That's just a timer. That's not a command. Check commands. Sorry, my fault. Let's see if these are working. But I think follow would be in there. That is working. That one's turned on. Oh, let's see this. Okay, I don't need that. Let's just see what that is. Yeah. Ones I don't know, I'm just gonna turn them off. And maybe I can't do these because it's on my own channel. So the one worked. Okay. I've got work to do. I've got work to do. That's for moderators. Do not have any custom ones in there. one last one that just seems pretty generic. Okay. So a couple things, I find a list of all the commands, like when I do that. Oh, commands with an S. Let's see if that works. Yes. Okay. So some things are working. I will do this in Stream Elements at another time. There has been very little music here tonight, but I got some work done, and as I'm aiming to improve the stream 1% each night, I've found what I need to do for tomorrow, which is good. So, who else is out there? Let's see who we can raid. And when I say we, it might just be me. I don't know.
This album is such a good follow-up to the first one.
All right, we'll jump over here. There it is. All right. We are going to raid Aiden Somerville. I have got to get off to bed. No, don't play that.
What's going on, guys?
Too many things going on. So if you're out there, thanks for watching. This was not a very musical stream, but I had some work to do. And I had some good chats with me, you, and Richard. So have a good night. We're going to raid.